All right, so I guess this is everyone. Is everyone on there? Ready? Or I guess, yes, on the Zoom. Hi, people on Zoom.
Hi, people on Zoom.
Okay, so
Hi.
we're gonna have a very, we're gonna have a light conversation today. Oh wait, no, this isn't the right one. Shoot. Give me one sec. That's not the right one. Okay, I'm gonna let you do that and I'm gonna start talking.
Oh, tell
So
her that she
the
can.
slide that's supposed to be there.
Oh, I'll tell you later.
Okay.
Maybe I'll call.
Okay,
her.
well, the slide that should be there is, what is the future of real estate? A nice light conversation this morning. So the reason I wanted to talk about this is because, let me know when I can use the slides. Bridget, okay. So I read this really interesting article. Have you guys heard of Brad Inman? Anyone?
Yeah.
An Inman News?
Yes.
You send me an email every day.
I was gonna say,
So
I get it every day.
Right, so he's one of the ones though that I actually click on and read. I actually really like the Inman News publication. I pay for it. I think it's really great.
Jordana.
Huh? Thank you. Okay. So it's really good because Brad Inman basically is an industry news provider and does an enormous amount of interviews and talks about what's happening in the industry. And I think it's something that it's important for us to always kind of keep our ears open to, right? And so there was this conference they held a couple of weeks ago, and the article came out, I think it was last week. And he talked a little bit about what's happening from the perspective of how much technology and how much money is being thrown at the real estate industry. So all of us know about companies like Compass, right? $8 billion valuation. And other companies, there's another one called Side Inc., which is another $1 billion valuation. And what's happening from a bigger perspective is there's cheap money out there. Meaning there's all these venture capitalist firms and money is cheap from the perspective of low interest rates. And what happens is they use this money to then go and kind of like change the entire industry. And I'm telling you guys that because it matters for us as real estate agents because we are the actual industry, right? And so this article, he talked about what these changes mean for us, right? And what direction we're going in. So I have some quotes here that I'm going to put on the screen that I want to talk about because I think it matters for all of us in our day-to-day. So the first thing that, and I have this article linked here, by the way, if anybody wants to read the actual article. But what he said was that instead of ignoring changes, Inman, who is Brad Inman, said real estate professionals need to learn how to wield the tools and platforms available and to shift from a relationship-based value proposition to the value they offer as a representative. So I know it's a lot of words, but essentially what that says to me. So, and I've been saying this for years, meaning what I've been saying is that we need to talk about our value. So what he's saying here is it's not just about the relationship. So let's think about the old school agent, right? If you guys picture an old school agent in your brain, that old school agent thinks that they are going to get business simply because of their relationship. And so what Brad Inman is saying is that's not true. It's going to change. And what's going to change is that you're going to get business because of the value that you represent. So why is that important for all of us? It's important for so many reasons. First of all, if you are newer, to me, this is amazing. This is an opportunity for you to break into a really difficult industry. Why? Because as long as you represent value, people are going to work with you and not their relationship. So it also means if you're experienced, it means that you have value. But the truth is that you guys, up to you to represent that value. I was hoping so. Cold coffee. So what does that mean? So what are some ways that we can give our clients value?
Communication updates, stuff like that.
Communication.
Yeah, communication.
Communication is like my next slide, so thank
Oh.
you. That wasn't even planned. Okay, what else can we do other than communication?
Be honest. They like.
Absolutely,
Be
honesty,
honest.
yeah.
They ask me, be honest, is this community safe?
Or even like what the communication this morning in the in-office chat when Lee had a question about auction, and I loved your response to it because you were like, be honest, tell them you've never done it before, and I agree with that. But yeah, you have another.
Access to quality professionals and your own like referral network.
Access to quality professionals, that's absolutely value. I also think the value comes down to us. And what I mean by that is us doing the work and going the extra mile. So what that might mean is maybe you do an extra search, or maybe you make an extra phone call to another agent in the building to find out about X, Y, or Z. Those are all the things that you can do that represent value. Yeah, Sheila.
I call that saving them time, and that is my number one value proposition is I am, during your research phase, I am most valuable because I save you time.
Right.
From hours and days and months of trying to figure it out yourself.
Right. So you guys know that I'm not like an active salesperson, right? But every once in a while I'll sell. So right now I'm helping some friends of mine buy. And I think it's about saving them time, like you said, Shayla, but it's also about like they were 100% relying on me to do everything from tell them which building to buy and what offer to make. And so I thought to myself, wow, I could easily tell them to make the offer at X price, or let me go the extra mile. Like I actually had that thought in my brain and do the additional research. I figured out the price per square foot. I talked to the listing agent and I saved them $15,000. We made an offer of $800 instead of $825. I talked to the listing agent about it. I could have just gone to $825, would have been easier, and my clients would have paid it. They really were like, whatever you tell us, Jordana, they literally said that. And the reason why I'm bringing that example up to you is because it made me realize how important what we do is. And it's not just the relationship, it's the value, right? The value of how you're going to help them, save them time, or in my case, educate them, tell them what numbers, right? All of that. But the next slide is even more important. Oh, wait, no, skip this. Oh, hold on. This one. Nope, sorry. Okay. So the main thing is relationships in the future may not be all there is to your quality work. So don't read the rest yet. So remember that agent I told you to think about. So we're all imagining an old school like agent in our head. I don't know why Coldwell Banker comes to mind, but I shouldn't say that because I'm not trying to knock Coldwell Banker, but that comes to mind for some reason. But
For a while.
think about that agent, the old school agent. Are they interested? Are they capable of quality work? We've all seen these agents, or are they just kind of getting the business because they've been getting the business because they have the relationship, right? I would say it's probably because they have the relationship. It's not about if they're doing quality work. That's where the opportunity is for all of you. You have an opportunity today because if you can do quality work, you can capture the market, you can capture your client. So you now have to add representation. So what he's saying is this is new. That's what Brad Inman is saying. This is a new thing that realtors have to do. And since representation is not being defined for you, which I've been telling you guys, you have to define it. So if you go back to the training that I do, I tell you guys the first thing out of your mouth when you talk to a lead is to tell them who you are and why you want to represent them. You have to tell them, hi, Shelly, it's Jordana. I'd love to be your realtor and represent you in your purchase and make sure this transaction goes smoothly. Bam, you have to say it. And you know what? That's good. For the first time, well, we've been doing this, so it's not really the first time, but for the first time, real estate professionals can start tooting their own horn. They can start telling people what they provide, which is what I've been telling you guys to do. And what services come with them representing their clients. So what he's saying is stop being humble. He's telling you guys, tell them why they should work with you. Tell them what your value is. So again, this is something that I've always said. You guys should have your elevator pitch down. Why should I work with you? Why do I need a realtor? I could do this myself. You guys need to have an answer to that. If I'm saying these things right now, and you're not really sure, you need to, at the end of this meeting, go and practice. You need to read about it, research it, get comfortable with why people should work with you.
I just want to make a comment.
Yeah.
It's kind of going back to what Natalie said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
About
your belief system.
Yeah.
If you get on the phone and you make it like you are valuable.
Yeah.
Well, then they'll believe, your client will believe that.
It's absolutely true, but I'm also saying in order to have that confidence and believing that you're valuable, you actually have to have the value, which means that you have to know that you, right, you have to actually do the work and empower yourself and educate yourself and show up to trainings and practice at your role play or whatever else you need to do.
Jordana,
Yeah.
one of the things right now might be a good thing, is, everything that's going on with Zillow,
Mhm.
I think that's a perfect example
Mhm.
of saying, hey, Zillow, they have all this money, just buying a house and slapping on the internet's not selling your house.
Not selling your
It's not getting done. So there's a reason why, the house didn't get sold. Now Zillow can afford to lose $2.5 billion.
Right. Right.
I mean, that's a great example for us.
That is a great example. It's also a great example of somebody trying to, of a company not staying in their lane. They were like getting greedy. Let's do everything. Let's do lead generation. Let's take a referral fee. I mean, it was like everything. Let's be an iBuyer. And they were not good at any one thing, right?
Well, I just heard this morning, didn't they just release like
Arizona.
several
Yeah.
thousand homes or, I mean, more?
For undervalue, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just, and all that aside, on the bottom though, of course, they didn't,
Of course.
they're making it like the world's coming to an end, but now Redfin's trying to pick up the slack. There's another company that's
Right.
gonna come in and start doing iBuying, so there are gonna be other names popping up, Zillow's in the.
Yeah, but that's so,
headlines.
that's a very
Right.
hyper local thing. The
Right.
iBuying thing, it's like literally exists in Arizona and like Texas. Yes,
I mean, they buy it here, but.
They do,
I think
but
part-
also
part
south
of
of here.
This news release of like 7,000 homes is also like, it's to drive up sales for them and to create some frenzy of like, look, we're having this blowout sale on
Yeah.
properties, like come and buy them for a great price. But like
Right.
someone else said in the group, like they made money off of the fee that they took when they bought the
Right,
property.
and so I-
and
They're
still
They're charging
profit.
12%.
There's still profit
Zillow
in
charges
there for
12%.
them. They're massive corporation.
Insane.
Wow.
Either way, all of that information, so this is even more, I love that you brought this up, Michael, because it also like kind of reminds me, there's so many things that are happening for the general consumer and almost get like overwhelmed and like kind of like lose themselves. And as part of our job, that's our value, is to explain to them what Zillow is and what they're doing in the market and what they can do differently, right? When they're making their offer, they're selling their home. But this is so important. And I've been saying this, I know it's uncomfortable, but you cannot be humble. I can't even tell you how many times, and again, like I don't sell, but the past couple months I've sold a couple and people are like, wow, because I'll tell them in the first call, I want to represent you. I'm gonna make sure you get the best deal. You guys all saw the client that came in yesterday that I had that closing here. And that was the very first thing I said to him. And he was my brother's best friend. And I said, Anton, if you work with me, I'm gonna make sure you get the best deal. He's like, wow, like, yeah. And guess what? He worked with me. So you guys should be saying that and make yourself laugh a little and make it funny, but stop being humble. Tell them why they should work with you. They should work with you, Roni, because you are gonna sell their home and nobody else can.
Nobody else.
Okay, so you're too humble to explain how hard you work and how you're there all the time, which by the way, you guys are all there all the time, aren't you? I know you are because because I see it. So if you are that, tell your clients that. Well, now you may need to explain it because you may need to articulate how representation works, what services you offer and how you're getting paid. So you need to find consumers and then you need to communicate with them. So that's what you were saying, Roni.
Mhm.
So this is what Brad Inman is saying. The future of realtors and real estate professionals to kind of get us through and navigate and make ourselves stand out from all of these tech situations. The future of your profession is to provide value. Right? Any other thoughts, comments? I know I'm kind of on a roll right now, but.
I struggle with the point you first made about the relationship based versus the value add, because all the examples you gave were personal referrals to you, which were relationship based.
Well, I'm also not, my business is helping you guys sell. That's what I focus on. So those are like the one-offs of referrals, which is what it's the natural part of being in real estate is having a sphere. So people know I'm in real estate. So, and by the way, don't misunderstand. And that wasn't my quote, that was Brad Inman's quote.
Yeah.
And all he's saying is it's shifting. That doesn't mean that relationships will still get you business. Don't get me wrong. And that's still important. But when he's saying it's shifting to not just being about the relationship, it's also about the value. But also understand, Shayla, my goal, what I'm doing here is building an organization where our vision is building a company where you guys have the platform to be able to sell more real estate, have your own business. That's what I do every single day. I'm not out there trying to pitch myself. That's not, my name is on nothing intentionally. It's not Jordana Real Estate. What?
I have a listing right now that they didn't go with their friend and I'm a complete stranger.
There you go. Because you can add
of the
value.
Value add.
Right. But don't misunderstand, relationships are still important. And I'm not saying forget the relationship.
Sure.
What I'm saying is there's an opportunity to get more business by providing value. And what Edmund is saying is there's going to be a shift, that's all. So that's an important point of differentiation. Okay, I'm gonna keep.
My freshman opinion, coming in, but no, as somebody new.
Yeah.
And seeing what attracted me to the agency.
Yeah.
And the experience is selling that culture that we do have here.
Yeah,
And that's attractive. So you are, explaining that value and engaging and, the resources, the ingenuity that we have.
Right.
The freshness of the team, having a engaged and active broker, having a local culture, a boutique. I think that's important to talk
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah,
And
I
it's
think so
like- 'cause
too.
I've been bragging about it all over.
Yeah.
It's like a natural thing.
yeah, right, because it's comfortable, because it's authentic.
Yeah.
And that's something else that's so important. So if you can authentically go out there and talk about how you love the culture and you love what we're doing here.
Yeah.
Like I brag about it all the time. I talk about how much I love everyone here and how much I love what we're doing and how much I love being a part of something and having a purpose. Because that's, to me, that's my authenticness.
Authenticity.
Thank you. But for you guys, I love that even more so because then you can take it and make it yours. And when you are authentic, then you speak with more conviction, then you speak with more confidence, and people are naturally going to want to work with you. Right?
Yeah.
If you provide the value, it should create the relationship, so you get the other stuff from it.
Absolutely, absolutely. But I think the value is so critical here, especially because we have a lot of agents that are still kind of breaking into the industry, that haven't yet sold, like you guys, right? And so, you have a question, Court?
Oh, no, there's a comment.
Oh, sure. Let me finish this
Yeah.
thought, although I lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
I was saying that, the key for me, for people that have not yet, for those of you guys that are newer, right? That are newer agents, the key is understanding that you have to first get the value in order to get the relationship. Which means that if somebody asks you a question about what's the right area for me to be in, Wes, you have to go and figure that out. Or if they say, well, how does it work with an HOA if I have a dog or if I have this, you have to get that information and provide that answer. Or if they say, well, actually, Wes, what's the price per square foot? It's up to you to go and figure it out. So that's what I'm trying to say for those of you guys that are newer. You're going to get asked questions and you're either going to not answer the question and just pretend like everything's and ignore it, or you're going to actually do the work to figure out the answer. Especially for those of us that are making calls in the pond. It's not about, and that, to me, this all kind of speaks back to that. If you're making the call just for the fun of making the call, you're not going to get anywhere. If you're making the call because you have the value that you can help the other person on the other end of the line, then you're going to have success. So if you're calling today, I want you to call and think, before you make any call, I want you to think, what is my value?
Here's what I
How
found.
can I help? If Courtney's the lead that I'm calling, think about when she answers the phone, in my head, I'm thinking, how can I help her? And by the way, that is what I do every single time I talk to, whether it's a client or whether it's an agent. If an agent comes to think about whether they're going to be a fit for this company or not, I think about, can I help them? What is my value to them as a broker? And if the answer is yes, and they're a fit, right? And so when you guys are doing that with your leads, you have to put on a hat and literally say, what is my value? Can I actually help them? Well, they want to buy in Hialeah and I live in Delray Beach. You probably can't provide much value. The answer is not to keep calling them. The answer is to find somebody else where you can provide value, right? Sorry, you want to read the comment?
Yeah, Jonathan said, an example I use when speaking to my buyers is talking about how I negotiate to the other agent to get them the house they want.
I
So
love that.
if
And
you
John,
don't mind, I'll
thank you
just
for
kind of,
adding that. And John has had such success with getting clients and having people work with him because of things like that. So the key part about the slide before this is the part about not being humble. You have to get comfortable saying, I am Anastasia and I'm going to be your realtor, right?
Yeah.
Although I'm not Anastasia, I was just staring at her. I'm Jordana. Okay, embrace the future. So I put this up here because I just wanted to kind of clarify something for everyone. And I hate to be a company that's like changing so often, but I also love being a company that's changing so often. So there's no change. This is just kind of an explanation of the division, right? So for those of you guys, especially now that it's November and we started our monthly fees, the member agents are those of you guys, most of you guys here on the member team, which essentially means you're having access to leads, accountability and all that, right? Our platform agents are people that aren't necessarily, so, and everyone should know, by the way, that if at any point the membership isn't working, the platform program is essentially plug and play. And what I mean by that is we have so many things that we're doing here, from transaction coordination to the marketing center where we can create marketing items for you. So understand that it's really about customizing whatever we're doing here so it makes sense for you. So I just wanted to kind of clarify this point. The two different programs are the member programs and then the platform agents, which is a little bit of a shift because we were calling it core and we were calling it other things. None of it really didn't really like jive with me. So recently I kind of I read about this company and it's all about plug and play. And I realized we're doing the same thing, right? In the sense that you can plug and play so that you can have the most success possible, right? Which also means that it's up to you guys to figure out how do I plug and play so that I can have the most successful business using all of the resources and the tools that are provided, that are available to me. So I just threw this up here just to make sure everyone is clear. Member agents, platform agents.
And does that mean then like in sync, it's your bucket versus being able to access the pond? Is that what we're saying?
No, this is the member agents are people with access to the pond. Platform agents have no access to company leads at all. These are people that want to
Just have a sync platform.
They have a sync platform, correct? And they can get their own leads. They can create their own pond, but they don't use our pond.
Yeah, got it. They have a bucket.
Correct.
Okay, that helps. Thank you.
Oh, welcome new agents. Rhonda, welcome. I think you guys are from the same part of the world or something. You're from Arkansas.
Well,
I'm not from-
I'm from
I'm not
Cincinnati.
from Arkansas.
You're not
but
from
we
Ar-
both lived there.
We lived close and
Close up.
we're on the same flight actually back home for family at Christmas time.
Well, that is random.
Yes.
Isn't that crazy?
It's crazy.
Well, welcome.
Thank you.
What happened?
That's me. So for anyone here that's new, and I'm not seeing any new faces here, because I know everybody here well. So maybe those of you on Zoom. Desiree is going to be reaching out to schedule 15 minutes with me. It's more, or for someone like you, Rhonda, who I don't know yet. I want to make sure that I know you guys and you guys have the opportunity to always request time on my calendar. So that's something that if you're new, you will be hearing or getting a request for 15 minutes on my calendar, just so I can say hello. Nothing else. Leaderboard check-in. So Maria, you're approaching 15 million. Woo! Nicole's at about 11, Yanni's at about 9, Kyle at about 7. Courtney, you're up there still.
I know. I haven't done anything.
By agents by count, Maria with 10, yay. Shayla with 4, very nice, and Kyle also with 4.
Nice.
$1 million dinner update. So we have Anastasia, Jonathan, Nicola, Maria, and Shayla.
And
Yanni's still-
Ronnie.
Oh, and Ronnie, I forgot. Yay!
I mean,
It wouldn't be a party without you.
I mean, 3 meals, guys.
So, yeah, actually, I think on the next slide, we have this listing, but I believe it's under contract.
Go on.
that's the one.
It was what, like on the market for like 2 days?
7.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So
Well, I
this,
started talking to the guy like Friday was like the second showing that we had. and-
The buyer.
Yeah, the buyer, but the buyer, so it turns out the buyer is actually, the buyer came with another buyer. So it was an agent.
buyer
The
came with-
agent came with a buyer
oh,
and his buyer didn't want to move forward, so he was.
found
like-
another buyer.
No, he bought it himself.
The agent
Oh,
did.
The agent. did.
that's
Cool.
interesting.
Yeah, so he's using part of his commission for the closing costs, but the
That works.
guy's got bread, so it's all good.
Awesome. Listings, whose listing is this?
Mine. That's the one that is dirty.
Oh, that's the one that's dirty. Great.
Yeah.
So for those of you that,
Very good.
for anyone that's an investor, it's a theoretically,
I
it's a,
mean, it's not, I mean, if somebody goes there and paint and clean, that's it.
It's a great unit.
It's just that it's hard to
I
show.
love
It's
those
a
kind of
three-
units.
It's a
Value.
three
Yeah.
1600 square feet.
so if anybody has, I'm sure we all have had investors or leads that have said to us, oh yeah, I would buy it. I would buy something and resell it. This is a,
65 plus, right?
Ah. yeah,
What's the price on it?
the price,
239,900. There's a great price, there's a new listing for 299, same unit.
wow,
It's a good investment.
that is a good price. We also still have our Pilo listing at Century Village. If any, there's a new listing in the building right under that's priced like, what, 30,000, 325, and we're priced at 289. Did you go to it yesterday? How was that?
Switch one of those cardboard couches.
Someone
There's
squished.
a big sign that says don't sit on.
And they
front."
sat on it?
I didn't want to catch it.
By the way, side note on that, if anybody has any sellers or listings that are vacant or that need some work, the cardboard furniture, that's something that I'm kind of working on as well, is a kind of a staging company that's going to focus on properties that are kind of like low to mid range, like up to 500,000 that are vacant. This is all cardboard furniture, believe it or not. So if anybody has somebody that wants to stage,
I was curious, so how soon can we do that? Like, would that be available for Maria's listing?
well, the thing is, so because her listing is occupied, it's not an option, because if someone lives there, you're not gonna obviously put
I
cardboard
have to
furniture.
say that I showed that property and it looks very nice. I never seen something like that.
Right, so you guys have all, you guys,
Looks great.
what's that?
The furniture really looks great. You know, those like cardboard artwork that they have for the
Yeah.
walls, awesome.
So it's something that in the next week or two, you guys will see, we have a website coming. So the designer actually that designed this office and is designing our Fort Lauderdale soon to be location. She's the one behind kind of this. You guys probably have seen her, Antonella, you guys know, but her and I are starting this side staging organization. So if you do, it's not ready to go yet, but if anybody has a seller or a vacant property that they want, that they think needs to be staged, what's so unique about this is it's really affordable. So we did the research and it's incredibly expensive to stage a home with real furniture. And it makes sense, right? So because of the fact that this is cardboard, it's really just for the visual. And what it does is if a buyer goes to the property, they can actually visualize where the couch would go. So it's better than virtual staging. It's obviously not as good as real furniture, but it's extremely affordable. I think the first package starts at like $1,800 or something like that, which is a very small amount. If you guys know, staging starts at like 10,000. So if anybody has any clients that I'm interested in, let me know. Huh?
We got the Pilo coming out.
She's doing double, yeah. She's already on that. She's actually working with Anthony.
Oh, she is?
Yeah. Oh, so you guys have all received your invoice already. Please make sure you click pay. I want to talk about, Bridget asked me to ask you guys for the monthly communication that goes out. As of now, we have it set to go out to leads in your name. Our question is, do you want it to also go out to leads that have the agent generated lead?
I always send a Christmas card, so I'm wondering if this will.
Right, that was the concern. I didn't want to put on this communication if you are already having your own communication that goes out,
And I'm ready, like my daughter did it all the time.
but these are emails. So
Right,
they're
so
the
I
same.
wonder what's, yeah. maybe
So
I-
this is a sample of the email. It looks like this, and it's one for every month based on what's happening that month. So I'm hesitant to communicate with your leads, however, with your sphere. However, it's a very basic email. So I wanted to get your feedback. If anyone says absolutely not, then we won't do it. But I also think you might as well let us do it for you.
I think it's fine.
Yeah. Does anybody on Zoom have any thoughts about that? I'm getting people nodding yes. That's you.
Sounds good to me.
Sounds good.
Anybody? Any opinions?
Sounds good.
Hello?
I like
Going
it.
once,
Are you guys there?
Can you hear me
going
now?
twice? All right.
Okay, so that's a yes.
Oh, sounds good, Jonathan said.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Thanks for participating, Jonathan.
This is a sample of the market report. I sent this out last week. All right, I did this in last week's meeting, but this is, thank you. I think this was Kyle or yeah. So I wanted you guys to see when you put a new listing in the MLS, you will get this AMP, which is automated marketing. And it looks kind of like this, and you got links to all of the items that you can use to market that property. Oh, so this is something that is a new automation that I wanted to talk to you guys about. So I'm in the system and my address is in there. So I got this email and it tells me, it gives me my home address, which is right here. It tells me how many buyers, and then it gives me comps. And I'm like, oh my God, I know that house, right? And I thought this was awesome because I was really interested in it. And I obviously am in real estate every single day and I still look at this email. So I figured this is an automation that I want to go out to all of our leads. So this is the deal. When a buyer closes on their home and they're in this sold status, what we are going to do for you is we are going to, when you change them from a buyer lead type into a seller lead and you add their address, once a month, they will get this report.
Okay.
So what that means, Ronnie, for any of the buyers that you've ever worked with, as long as they are in sync and the status says sold, we will turn this on for you. And what I love about it is essentially what they're saying is, hey, Ronnie, this is where you live. These are the comps that sold in your neighborhood.
That's an awesome idea, but let me ask you, do we have to change it? Because if we just put sold, do we have to change the status?
No, we-
No,
Oh, so first, okay, so we won't know. Well, so this is what Desiree is going to go in today, and she is going to change the status for any buyer lead that you've ever closed, right? As long as it says sold, we'll take that address and put it in and set this up for you. But here's the key. If you want this, by the way, on your own leads, so you have to go into sync, put in their name, and then and just make the address, or
Can I know?
the address goes in the second tab under info, and just make sure you mark them as sold. So Desiree will work on that for you, but I recommend anyone that you've ever sold, or even a seller or somebody in your neighborhood, we can turn this report on for you. You can turn it on yourself, but we can
Who
also,
generated that email to you?
it's automatically generated
From whom?
from Sync.
Oh, it came from Sync.
Yeah, it's a
Okay,
Sync.
got it.
This is an automatic report
Mhm.
that Sync sends out. I'm a lead of the system.
Oh,
It has my
okay.
address, and I got this report and I realized I had this like light bulb, like every single lead that we know their address should be getting this report. So it's another one of the, remember, the goal with the membership is that you guys should spend more time selling, and we want to automate the communication for you. So this is part of what we want to automate on your behalf.
All the seller leads should have that.
And all the seller leads should have it too. Yes, that's a good point. Thank you. Yeah, I'll add that to them.
Yeah.
Monthly goal update. We are approaching 98 million. So that means that in the month of the rest of November and December, we have to close. Oh, we want to get to 120.
Yeah, yeah, 98, you said, right? 2 months, 22 million, it's 11 million.
We need 11 million a month, right?
Definitely, yeah.
So we were a little short, right? Does anyone know what do we end October with? You know,
7 million.
that's it.
That's
Oh.
something.
Because also in September,
But
we were
November
low.
was double.
Huh?
November's double though.
November is double right now. All right, well, we've got to push. Any of you guys that are working with buyers right now and sellers right now is the time to get those under contract. Because we have to sell 22 million.
If we have more inventory.
Upcoming events. Oh, this Thursday, we have a power hour hosted by John. John, anything you
John,
want
do
to
you
say
want
about
to,
it?
do you want to say something about it?
Hey, can you guys hear me?
How do I see who's on? Oh, there's a lot of
Right
people
here.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Jonathan?
can hear you, bro.
Can you hear me?
We cannot hear you.
Yeah.
I think it's because or I don't know why it is.
I hear Jonathan.
Yeah, I hear him too.
Can you guys hear me too? They couldn't hear me earlier.
Yeah,
Some
I
people
hear
that are in
you.
Zoom can hear us, but the people in
Sorry.
the office can hear us.
Okay,
I can hear you now, John.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah, so this week's power hour is gonna be about superheroes. So it's just the idea that us as agents, we want to be ourselves as a superhero to our buyers and sellers. So, I know Jordana kind of touched about this a little earlier about, having that relationship, but, also showing the value proposition that you can provide to the buyers and sellers. What can you do to help reduce the stress for your buyers and sellers as they're going through the process? Because not only are you agents, there are times where you're also the cheerleader, the psychiatrist, psychologist, just to talk people off the ledge. So it's just all about, being a superhero, so you can build that relationship and just kind of build the lasting relationship for referrals, et cetera, et cetera.
I freaking love that. That's amazing. Thank you, John. I'm so excited for Thursday. And that actually goes really well in with what I started the meeting talking about value.
He and I were talking, and we're gonna do an activity to start it off where everybody kind of writes down like their pitch,
superpower?
their super, yeah,
Can people wear capes?
No,
absolutely.
If you want to, by all means,
no.
strongly encouraged.
Strongly encouraged, full costumes.
If you have a superhero costume, you're welcome to show up in it. That's all I'm saying.
Yes.
I do have one. I have a very cool superhero costume.
She will be showing up in.
Wait, so I love that idea. So people that come to the power hour get to talk about and pretend like they have a superpower, and then they get to call leads. I freaking love it. That's awesome. Cool. Thanks, John. Any other comments? There's comments there. You wanna read them?
Oh, yeah, we have lunch now. Let's see. I can hear you. I can hear you. Here, I can hear you. Okay, got it.
Thanks, guys. Okay, almost done. Food drive, thank you, Juan, for coordinating. I don't know where you went, but we do have a box here. So please bring any, I think, non-perishables and clothes, not open food, please.
You know, you can also send CJ $27 if you don't want to.
Okay, and they help to buy.
It was in the package, the gift that they gave us.
Okay.
There is a card and there that says that.
So Shayla organized a workout class for us. If anybody wants to sign up, I think I'm on here. Are you on the list?
I'm on the list. I have the list. I'll pull it out while you guys are over here.
I think we just meet there. I think it's on the one in Champion next to Polo Club.
Boca, yeah.
Where'd Shayla go?
The military
I
show.
haven't seen her in so long.
She wanted me to play the video. That's why I put it in there. If you want to click it.
What'd you say, Anastasia?
They have a closing. That woman and Barbie.
Okay, got it. Well, I'm not gonna, it's just, this video is her walking around just.
Okay.
It's the gym too.
Oh, I can't play because it's from Bridget's computer, but
Okay, well-
essentially she's walking you through, it's stretching, Pilates.
Strength and yoga.
Thank you. Have you done it before?
Yeah.
Is it fun?
It is a lot of fun.
Should everyone go?
It's honestly a really good work.
Are you going?
Yeah, I'm going.
Cool. Roni, what about you?
I'll be there.
I would die to see you in some leggings on a Pilates.
Probably not gonna happen.
We saw
Who
you
else
in
is
some
coming?
leggings.
Yay! This is gonna be so fun. All right, cool. So sign up if you haven't already, because we do have, I think there's limited spots, right?
Yeah, 25 spots.
Thank you, Shayla, for organizing. Thanksgiving potluck. So Thursday, November 23rd, this potluck has.
It's Tuesday and I didn't change it again.
Oh, sorry, Tuesday.
Sorry, Tuesday.
Tuesday.
I was gonna say, is it the
23rd? Tuesday.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, so Tuesday. So historically, we have had some really good dishes, right? Like Roni makes a mean sausage and pepper
Are you
situation.
making that
So please bring your best dish.
You guys want it?
Yeah, like we haven't had it in a year.
Somebody made a really good casserole last time, or like the souffle was good.
Oh, God.
Anyway, so please bring a dish. Your
There's a
favorite.
sign up sheet that I sent out. If anybody needs it again, just let me know and I'll send it out again. Yeah, you'll need it.
Yeah.
And that will be here at the office. So please
Yes.
plan to be here. And that's it. That's all we got. Oh, but I can just click here. Oh, Bridget said the potluck sheet. Thank you. Can you let
Thanks,
us know
Bridget.
where the potluck sign up sheet? Oh, okay. Courtney, unmute.
Okay.
Does anybody else? We're done early. I know everyone's super busy. Anybody have any comments, questions, concerns, stories they want to share?
Anybody has a 2-bedroom, non-55 and over, under 200 grand, I'm not, please let me know. Banging my head against 3 different walls at this point. It's, everybody's just coming in and buying cash. It's
Yeah.
not possible with a conventional
And-
mortgage, so.
It's a conventional, yeah, that's a tough.
20% down, single mom, yeah, one of those deals, so yeah. I know.
Nothing's impossible.
I know, I'll get it.
Anybody else have anything they want to share? Thank you, guys.
Thank
That's all I got for you. Thank you.
Oh, sorry.
I have to consult, I have to consult my. Oh. Oh.
Oh my God, Rory.